Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who has some amazing music. So let's welcome to the show, Brian. Hey,
how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? And you're
Good.
from Depth Perception, which
Yes.
I love that band name.
I really wasn't involved on that. I came in later. I think it was just one of those nights fighting about names, and that's what they came up with, right?
I always say it's so hard for bands nowadays to come up with names because, like, it's like almost all of them are taken. So when a cool one comes up like yours, I'm like, wow, there was actually a name left that didn't have to have a special spelling or symbol in it or anything like that. So tell our listeners a little bit about your music. I read it as modern death metal, which it's kind of funny to me as I'm an old schooler. Like I was at Possessed shows when they first came out, and it's like modern and death metal almost to me in my head don't even go together, but it does make sense. So tell our listeners about your music.
Well, it's that's a deep question. It's got some of the songs have been around for a long time, long before I came around. And this last album, it took about 5 years to write. And during that 5 years, there were lineup changes. There were setbacks and stuff like that. So the music is written by everybody on this, but it's not as collaborative. There's, when I came into the situation and started putting my take on things, there were certain things that I was approved to, put my flair on, other things where they were like, no, don't touch it. It's across a lot of time. There's different people that wrote stuff. Now the stuff that we're writing now is more collaborative. It comes together as, one song will come together from everybody's perspective, right? But yeah.
I like that. That's good. It shows, listening to the new music, it's definitely badass. People should check it out. So tell everybody about the album Ashes.
No, Scars of a Skin. That one, I like playing the most on the album, probably because that was my biggest contribution to the album as I came into the band. Like 80% of it was written when I came in. And other than putting my take on things that were already there on the album, this song was just a contribution from me. And I didn't write the whole thing. I wrote the guitars and stuff like that. But that was definitely my favorite one on the album. There's other songs on there that have a total different feel. And that's kind of what we go for. We have very different perspectives on what music is, and we bring that together, and that's kind of our sound, the harmony of the two, right?
I think that's what really sets your music to stand out, because I've said a lot of times that nowadays, a lot of bands, they just kind of, it's like they just use this algebraic equation. It's like they just have this formula that they follow, and that's it. And, when you have everybody that has the same music taste, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that could be kind of boring. I think what makes music more exciting is when there's different aspects being thrown into the funnel.
Definitely. I believe that too. Like I say, that is true. You if you can find a harmony between the different musicians in the band, that's your sound. That's what you should do, you know. So
It's funny
yeah.
too, because some people would think that would cause conflict. I almost think that when everybody has the same music taste, that probably causes even more conflict, because, I think then there's no like compromise because you're all on the same page but saying different things. Whereas if it's coming from different, types of music tastes and different, perspectives, people can like just, discuss it, and, it's like creating a recipe.
Yeah. Well, I won't say there's no, like I've never been in a band where everybody's thinking the same thing.
Right.
So there is conflict. Every decision,
Oh, they're always
every
gonna be.
decision is scrutinized and rethought. And once we get it done, there's somebody at the very end will always say, it could be, there's just one little thing that could be different, and they have to change the whole friggin' thing, So I won't say there's no conflict. It's it's a lot of debate and struggle and fights, and you bring something to the band and you think you got a song, and really what the band ends up calling is riff salad, and they chop that up, and that usually rips my heart out a little bit, but it always sounds better after it's collaborated.
Absolutely. And there's no doubt there's conflict, but I think what I'm kind of saying is more of, because everybody has a say, your final product ends up something that's really, really good, opposed to just from one perspective.
Absolutely. Yep. I agree with that.
So what do you guys have moving forward here in 2022?
Well, right now there's kind of a lull in what we're doing, other than the one thing we have next on the list is a video for the song Scars Over Skin. We haven't even started talks about it because everybody's coming back from holidays now, and I'm supposed to get together with Dana tonight for the first time since before Christmas, and then this Friday is a full band rehearsal. So yeah, and there's some up in the air shows. Like, we don't have anything planned in concrete yet. I think what we're doing is we're concentrating on writing right now, and the shows as they come, we'll take them, but there hasn't been a whole lot at the moment, but it's coming soon. Other than that, we don't really have a whole lot in stone.
Well, it is hard, with lockdowns going on again. It definitely is difficult, but I have this funny feeling that we're getting to the end. I hope.
Oh, I think so too. I just got back from the States, and while we were down there, me and my son both got a positive COVID test.
Wow.
And didn't even know it. Like, he felt fine. I felt fine. I had a few symptoms. The hardest part was getting back across the border. But then I had to isolate for 10 days. So that's another reason we've all been kind of apart.
Yeah.
But, so COVID is been a struggle to get through. But I think you're right. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
And you know what? I feel your pain because I just recovered from COVID a few days ago.
How was it? How'd you do? Like, do you have a lot of symptoms or no?
No, it was pretty mellow, actually. And it was short-lived, so
yeah.
Kudos.
Same here.
Glad to hear that. Now, how does everybody reach you guys on social media? How do they check out your music, all that good stuff?
We have a great little link tree. That's, if you go to Facebook, our link tree's on there, and it connects you to Spotify. There's several other streaming platforms on there, and then we have a Bandcamp, we have YouTube, of course Facebook is where you start, but so that's what's going on. if you look on our Facebook page, you'll get a lot of our news. That's our biggest outlet for news.
All right, beautiful. Any final words you want to leave our listeners with?
Well, go support local music.
Those are great words, actually. Definitely, everybody, you have to check out Scars Over Skin. You have to check out the album Ashes. And most importantly, support, follow, get merch, whatever you got to do for Death Perception, because they are a badass band. And thank you for the great music, and thank you for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.